Hi, my name is Patrice Torregano, and I want to share my experience with Kurundi and the breathing. I'm so sorry. Uh, the breathing holistic healing sessions that we've had. When I first saw Kurundi talk about how healing from trauma, I was very intrigued. I have personally experienced some severe trauma from a previous marriage, circumstances that led to that, and didn't realize that even after nearly 10 years of removal from that unhealthy, toxic, traumatizing relationship, I was still holding a lot in. And the experience that I had in the sessions with Kurundi were eye-opening, very scary, and uncomfortable, but completely necessary. When she met with us as a group on a couple of Zooms in the beginning, as she introduced what this exercise was going to be, she did not mince words. She always fostered a safe space. She was always encouraging to complete the work, even if it did put us in an uncomfortable position. She defined what creating a safe space for this work was. In the beginning, I was very ashamed of even needing to go through an exercise like this because, I had physically moved on with my life. Things were physically better, substantially better, and healthier. But I didn't realize that there were still some things, some remnants of the pain and the trauma, honestly, that were still inside of my body. And what I realized was I had just learned how to suppress these things. I learned how to just move on like a good soldier, move past it. And Kurundi was teaching how to breathe through it. She never ignored, she never taught or coached to ignore the obvious, the presence of the trauma. But she always said, breathe through that. Let's work through that. A lot of the pain in my experience with Kurundi during these sessions there were a lot in my belly. She talked about the various belts that needed to be released and how to flow in a particular order through each of those areas. And I just really appreciate that experience with her. I highly recommend the experience. And as I told her in one of our last sessions, that, I come from a religious background where, in the non-denominational Christian world, we often understand that, praying at the altar, when the pastor calls altar call, he or she is fostering what we call as a prayer line, and how, things can come up in those instances, and emotions can rise and what we deem as catching the Holy Spirit in a sense. And, with my trauma also including hurt in the religious sector, I was very, very turned off by altar calls and prayer lines and the laying on of the hands. And I don't even know if I shared this detail with Kurundi, but even as in our physical sessions, when she would place the hands on the various areas of the belt, I realized that, I was so trusting of her. She was very well informed, very well equipped, very thorough. I never felt unsafe. I never felt taken advantage of. I never felt like this was, for lack of better terms, I never felt that this was something super goofy or so out there in the left wing or so witchy or whatever, and that this was not going to work. I actually felt the shift. And when I would leave each session, even in the very beginning when we had a few Zoom sessions, when I would finish that session, I felt completely lighter. Physically, I could sleep better. Physically, I felt myself not suffering from a lot of anxiety that as a business owner, her mom and a wife, and with all these things, all these roles that I have that I'm grateful for, but I also have to make sure I didn't feel, I felt like I could pace myself and it was okay. I felt balanced. And, I definitely believe in balance and harmony. I'm a Libra as far as my zodiac is concerned. And so I really, really honor the balance and harmonizing of life. Even if it, I know it's not super, it can't be super perfect. It can't be always idealistic. But what I can control, I value and honor that I do strive for those two things. And those sessions with Kurundi allowed me to give myself permission to keep striving for that even on the inside, even dealing with the trauma that I, again, didn't realize I still had a lot of on the inside. I would definitely recommend Kurundi to any of my friends, my family members, my associates. I believe in the power of healing again. I believe in that this is real work, that this is medically necessary in today's time. We all experience, especially with the pandemic, so much trauma, so much uncertainty, and so much just gunk emotionally that and we're just trying to move past that, and we have no idea how to navigate through it. And this work is key, not just to survive but thrive. It's for anybody of any religious background, any ethnicity, anybody in any country, any gender, culture, no matter what, it's necessary work because it's human work. It's human work, and I love that Kurundi is not only proud of who she is and what she provides for the community, but she's inclusive, and she's promoting safe spaces and emotional healing and physical healing and just all of these things that we need as just humans. And unfortunately, I did have to end the process earlier than what I had anticipated due to drastic changes in my schedule availability. But I'm so thrilled and continue to hold on to the things that I have learned thus far from Kurundi. She is amazing, and I am so excited to continue to follow her journey in bringing this type of breath work to so many people in so many countries, in so many faces, both men and women of all backgrounds. And I am fully convinced that as soon as my schedule, I can create more space and time. If I can't get to Kurundi will have to come to me. I will have to pay for her to come to me because we are relocating here shortly. And if she can't come to me, I'm going to ask her for recommendations of those that she may have worked with and areas so that I can continue the healing process. So, yes, I am so excited about what she is doing, and I cannot wait to see where this goes for so many others who have suffered and can finally get the healing and get the wholeness that, as humans, should be a human right. It should just be a human right, not a woman right, not a man's right, not a black right, not a white right, a human right.